Hello and welcome to this elective course on Industry 4.0 as a part of online BSc program of IIT Madras. So this is an elective course, therefore I'm happy that you have chosen this course, and I will make all efforts to make this course as interesting and as value add to you as we can. So before we get into the actual contents of the course, we are going to discuss the course administration and the course outline, course objectives. So let us briefly discuss all of that. So as I said earlier, this is Industry 4.0, a 4-credit elective course as a part of the online BSc program. So this elective is for students in their third year of the online BSc program. So most probably all of you have completed the, so to say, diploma requirement of the online BSc program. So by now you would have already understood the basics of data science, a little bit of Python, little bit of R. Now this elective is in the direction of one of the most important applications of these AI ML tools in this very new, very revolutionary framework called Industry 4.0. So this is mainly an application course, so to say. This is not the fundamental theory course in AI ML. So therefore the prerequisites, I have kept it at a very basic level. So if you have, if you remember basics of AI, basics of ML, basics of statistics, that should be enough. However, for the tutorials and for running the data sets, using some examples, some coding in Python would definitely be would definitely help. But by now you are definitely well into the online BSc program, and now Python is like English to you. So I'm not actually worried about those Python syntax and Python libraries. I'm very sure that you can recall all of them like a back of your hand. Okay, course delivery. This is where this course may be different than some of the other courses. This is where this course is different than my earlier course, which you may or may not have credited. So the course delivery has multiple methods. I'm attempting a few more things that I did not try in my previous course. So the basic lectures are definitely going to be integral part of this course. So every week I am going to come up first and introduce this topic in my session. We will make sure that we discuss all aspects of that topic: the theoretical aspects, the business aspect, the data science aspect. The other course instructors for the course will definitely take you through more hands-on experience, tutorials, data sets where you will be expected to do few things, you will be expected to submit things, you will be expected to write Python codes and so on. Something new that I am trying for this elective course are industry talks. For that, I have to explain to you what is Industry 4.0. Actually, Industry 4.0 is a brand new paradigm to look at industry, manufacturing industry in particular, the way we have not looked at before. Very new. So therefore, it is deeply technical. That's why it is included in the data science part of your online BSc program. It is deeply technical, but at the same time, it has very solid management fundamentals. And therefore, a course like Industry 4.0 cannot simply be looked at as a technology course or AI ML course. It also has to understand the business aspect of Industry 4.0. And therefore, I will try to include at least a couple of industry talks, little towards the middle of the course and towards the end of the course. I am also going to ask one of my colleagues to help me with at least 1 or 2 sessions in this course, and I will introduce my colleague who is a faculty member at IIT Madras at an appropriate time. He is an expert in few topics of Industry 4.0, and there is no point in me mimicking his technique. Let us learn from the expert. So we'll invite him to talk to us at least in a couple of sessions, but that will happen little later. So that's the course delivery: lectures, tutorials, industry talks, and a couple of sessions at least by my colleague. Let us continue to understand Industry 4.0. Now, Industry 4.0 is actually, I mean, it's a lot of organizations are already implementing these techniques. So it's actually a set of technologies, set of techniques that are changing fundamentally how the industry works, how the industry plans, how the industry executes, and how the industry takes decisions. Mainly, this aspect is emphasized because now industry is using data in a big way. So how does industry plan? How does industry strategizes? Using data. How does industry executes? Using operational data. How does industry evaluate itself? Using performance data. And how does industry take decisions? Obviously, data driven decision making. So those are all the aspects that make Industry 4.0 a very appropriate course in the online BSc program, which specializes in data science. So as I said, this is one of the most important applications of data science in industry today. I am going to keep emphasizing that when we say industry, we are going to mean manufacturing industry many times. However, some of these Industry 4.0 techniques and tools have already percolated to other industries, and we will talk about some of those examples as well. However, as I said, mainly manufacturing industry, mainly the operations industry. That will be clear when we get into the first session, which is about history of industrial revolution and how did this 4.0 come about. So the course, as I said, we will have all aspects of Industry 4.0, both technical as well as the business aspect of 4.0 covered in this course. So we will make sure that we are honest to the field, which is data science, but we will also make sure that we discuss a lot of business theories, business insights when we talk about Industry 4.0, right? So we will make sure that this course has a focus of your online BSc program. Since many of you have heard about Industry 4.0 for the first time, actually the field itself is not very old. We have kept the learning objectives at a very basic level. So initial couple of sessions are going to be spent on describing various dimensions of Industry 4.0, right? And then slowly we will start using data science. So for example, can some of the questions of Industry 4.0 be answered using some of the data science tools that we already are aware of, right? Some of these data science tools, techniques, you must have already picked up from the previous courses, earlier courses in the online BSc program. However, do not worry if you don't recall those techniques. We will have enough time to make sure that we pick up all these things. We remember all these things, and all the prerequisites for this course are going to be built in the sessions that we are going to have for this course itself. Now, the couple of them are basic, but let me be a little more ambitious. Third course objective is actually, I would say, very ambitious. Can we now develop data tools, data science tools, which are specific to Industry 4.0, right? Can we do that in this course? Now that, I admit, is a slightly ambitious target, but let's see how we go about doing that. Once we have enough background from data science, which you already have, and we have understood Industry 4.0, which I hope that you will pick up from this course, the last objective for this course will become evident, will become easy. Can we build data-centric business models, right? We will attempt to do that towards the end of the end of the course. So the textbooks recommended, as I told you, Industry 4.0 itself is not very old set of techniques. The textbooks also I haven't found too many. So I did the best I could, and therefore I have recommended Gilchrist's book titled Industry 4.0 as the textbook for this course. This is the textbook. I'm showing it to you on screen. So this book was written in 2016, and we will definitely refer to this book when we are talking about a few aspects, particularly the development of Industry 4.0 and the history that has gone behind history that has led to 4.0, right? This is a very small book, so to say, not a very thick book. I can already tell you some 250 odd pages, right? Not a very thick book, right? So definitely recommended. For additional reading, I am going to refer to this book, right? I am going to refer to this book. So the textbooks recommended for this course, as we know, Industry 4.0 itself is not a very old topic, and therefore the textbooks that have been written, or the books that have been written, also have been fairly recent. I was able to find two good books. One I have put them as a textbook, and one I have put them under recommended reading. So as a textbook, I'm recommending this Gilchrist book on Industry 4.0, which has the same title, right? Industry 4.0, the Industrial Internet of Things, which was published in 2016. Very good book. Actually, not a very big book, but it's a very well written book, and I found this to be a very good comprehensive discussion on all aspects of Industry 4.0, including the origins. Additionally, I have found this book to be the Schandler's edited book to be also a very good resource, and that also I have kept it under additional reading. This book is even more recent. This book was written in 2018. This has various chapters written by other authors, and Ulrich Schandler has edited the book. So and this also covers a lot of dimensions of Industry 4.0, and I would also recommend this book. Not to say that these are the only two textbooks, but these are very good books and therefore worth reading. So there are other articles. There are plenty of published material online as well as offline. There are various case studies, and I would definitely encourage all of you to read those also. They will give you various aspects of 4.0 and the fourth industrial revolution. So, however, collating data science focused contents for Industry 4.0 may be slightly dispersed. We may not find one single source for that, and therefore I am not able to recommend a textbook. I am not aware of a textbook which can give you a comprehensive data science anchored view of Industry 4.0. I'm very sure that there are books like that, just that I have not been able to find those, right? So I should probably do a good job of searching. So for our course on Industry 4.0, this is what I have as a sessions plan. We will start with the introduction of Industry 4.0, the evolution and the history, the basic terms. We will do that immediately after we have completed the discussion on course outline. So essentially, in my mind, right? Industry 4.0 is a step forward from third industrial revolution. We will discuss about the phases of industrial revolution, but in my mind, the major differentiating criteria or the evolution or the revolution, if you want to call that, is data-driven decisions, which are more prominently highlighted in the Industry 4.0. So that's going to be the second topic. So the entire Industry 4.0, in my opinion, is about data-driven decision making. And once we say that the decisions are data driven, the next obvious extension to that is, well, human beings are not taking decisions using human judgments. It is been done using data. So why can't we use algorithm that learn from the data and are able to take decisions on their own? The algorithms can take decisions on their own, and therefore the autonomous decision making, right? So to me, that is the differentiating feature of Industry 4.0. Now, when we say data-driven decision making, right, there are two kinds of two broad aspects of decision making, right? One are dynamic. One type of decision making is dynamic decision making, on the moment decision making, right? Which gets highlighted more. What am I talking about? Example, right? So a lot of Industry 4.0 people talk about sensorization, which is a very important aspect, very key idea in fourth industrial revolution. So you have sensors on all your assets, and the sensors keep generating data and sharing data, and therefore you have a central agency that collects the data and therefore has the power to take decisions. Now, let us say in a supply chain, the raw material are being sent by a truck, and the truck, let us say, has a breakdown. Now, the truck sensor can then communicate with the factory that the raw material is going to reach the factory, let us say, 5 hours late. Now, how does the factory plan its production based on this new information that the raw material is going to arrive 5 hours late, right? That's a dynamic decision making. That's a decision making on that moment, right? So and that is a very interesting aspect of this whole data driven decision making. And we will talk about some examples of that category also. But there are other there are other decisions that are taken which may not have that dynamic nature, but they are equally important, and they are also data driven, right? For example, this whole layout in an organization, right? Should it be a product layout? Should it be a process layout? What kind of layout should a factory have? Now, that's a decision that is not taken every day, right? Once you decide a layout, that layout is going to continue for some time, definitely not less than a day. But can we take those decisions using data, right? We are going to look at that. That's precisely the second session, which is on facility planning. Second such decision is location of the facility. Where do we locate the plant? Where do we locate the warehouse, right? How should this supply chain network look like, right? What should be located where? Now, even those decisions can be data driven. However, once again, those decisions need not be at the moment kind of a decision, because setting up a factory or setting up a warehouse are huge costs, and once again, those decisions are not taken every day. Our warehouses don't change every day. Though my recent interest did speak about a mobile warehouse, where the warehouse itself keeps moving because it is loaded on a truck. But those aspects are different, right? But in general, factory locations, warehouse locations are not taken every day, but they can also be data driven, and those are the kind of decision making aspects that we are going to discuss a lot, right? So as I said, more on the moment kind of a decision using data. I have the whole time series, and therefore I can predict, I can forecast, and then take decisions. Or there are some other traditional, so to say, decision making processes. Can I take those decisions using data? Third session is going to be on looking at process control, right? Machine control problem, which is an example, I would say, of Industry 4.0. We again go back to conceptual aspects, and I will have somebody talk about pillars of Industry 4.0. So what are the different pillars? Digital transformation is spoken as one of the most important foundations on which 4.0 lies. 4.0 builds. So digital transformation is important, 5G is important, IIoT is important. So all those pillars are going to be discussed in that session. I wanted you to have some understanding of what's happening in India, and therefore I have planned an industry talk specifically on where is India in this whole 4.0 discussion, where are we doing, where are we heading, That is going to be a industry leader coming and talking to us. I have put a question mark because I really have to honor their schedule, so I may have to move this up or down, right? So it may not exactly be the 5th session or the 5th week of the course. So recordings will have to match. Will have to essentially honor the commitment of my industry leader. Prognosis is another important aspect of Industry 4.0, and again I'm going to have a colleague talk about it, giving a purely data science perspective on prognosis. 7th session on Quality 4.0 is where I talk about the dynamic decision making, right? Sensor data, right? Sensors are giving us live data, and how do I understand quality of my production based on the data that I'm directly getting at that moment. So that is more live decision making, right? More live decision making. Then we get into inventory optimization. Inventory optimization, once again, is not a new topic. Inventory optimization started actually after Second World War. A lot of mathematical modeling has gone into optimizing inventory. Little before that also, but we will take interesting applications from, for example, retail industry, some other industries. Take data, spare parts, for example. How do I keep the stock of spare parts in my organization? So all those aspects we will discuss in that topic on inventory optimization, more math driven, and we will have our own data sets that will take us to examples from these industries. I wanted to discuss about dynamic pricing, which will actually be pricing optimization. So I can include inventory optimization, pricing optimization. And how has machine learning played a role in dynamic pricing? I have an application for that also. We will discuss that once again, data driven session. Logistic 4.0, we will talk about a few aspects of setting up a transportation network, right? How should the routing be? You know the famous routing problems. For example, traveling salesman problem. Traveling salesman problem is a more famous routing problem. Chinese postman problem, right? Many such problems. But what happens when we are setting up a logistic network and deciding the optimal transportation activity there? We have an interesting application for that, and that will come after dynamic pricing. Again, we will have an external speaker coming and talking to us about future of manufacturing business. Actually, manufacturing is changing drastically because of Industry 4.0, and I would like to believe that the future of manufacturing business is in the fourth revolution. And therefore, when we talk about Industry 4.0, it's also relevant to then connect that with future. How is, for example, 3D printing changing manufacturing business? What are the new business models that we would need to then get into this new paradigm of manufacturing? So that would be discussed in that future of manufacturing business session. And we will, as always, if you remember my BA course, we had an epilogue, and here we will talk about the future. What is the next decade of Industry 4.0 has for us? I will once again, I have put a question mark in front of industry speaker. This industry speaker I have not finalized yet, but as I record more and more sessions, I am contacting, and I will make sure that I will have an industry speaker tell us about the future of Industry 4.0 in general, not India specific, so to say. So those are the broad sessions for the 12 weeks. As I told you earlier, this is a 4 credit course, which means that it will go for 12 weeks. And those are the 12 weeks, right? In addition to the sessions that I am going to record, the course instructors are going to record sessions where they will take you through more the data perspective, the data science perspective, the coding perspective of all the topics that we are going to discuss in the session that I am going to conduct. So that's all I had for the course outline. I hope this is clear now, and this now should lead us to the first topic, which was Introduction to Industry 4.0. So I'm going to pause now and get into the first discussion on how has Industry 4.0 evolved. So I'm going to stop the session here and continue in the next session, which is introduction to 4.0.